will be starting with Catherine Davis. Is Catherine there?
She's not here.
All right. Is Hannah Hawkins here?
Yes, but my son's literally just woke up. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to...
Hannah, do you want me to swap you with the next one and then come back to you? Right, okay, so can we have Ian Spencer?
Do you want me to start now?
Yeah, you can do your opening statement, thank you.
My name is Ian Spencer, and I'm standing on the grassroots left slate for election to the CEC because I want a mass socialist party and not just a Labour Party 2.0. I'm a retired nurse and teacher with a lifetime of political activity in the labour and trade union movement, the Anti-Nazi League, Stop the War Coalition and Palestine Solidarity Campaign. We need a party which is open, democratic and transparent about our decisions, finances and doesn't engage in witch hunts of socialists from the party. We need to recognise the branches now and dedicate 50% of the membership fees to them for local campaigns and elections. We should contest the May local elections, providing a socialist alternative to reform and the genocide-supporting Labour Party. Party policy should be decided by a sovereign conference with elected delegates and not outsourced to a policy commission which is answerable to no one. These are critical times. Worldwide, there is a movement which recognises the brutality of decaying capitalism, which turns nations into failed states. This is focused on the genocide in Gaza, but also in stopping the wars of US imperialism, aided and abetted by the UK. In the USA, people are rising up against the institutional racism of the government in a way we have not seen since the civil rights movement and opposition to the Vietnam War. This is the first time in a generation when there is a possibility of an international socialist movement. Vote for Myra Shoko and Ian Spencer on the grassroots left slate and your party. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. So I'm going to go into the first question. And the first question is, what would your immediate priorities be if elected onto the CEC?
First and foremost, I think it's get the branches established. We've been in a position where we could potentially have contested the upcoming by-election, but that wasn't possible. We've got situations where effectively proto-branches are organising things on the ground already, but they have no support, and above all, they don't have any access to the data which has been monopolised by the kind of secretariat of your party. That data is crucial if we're going to organise anything at all. So that's first priority. Second priority is to try and establish what the kind of democratic structures of the party are going to be. So we need to sit down and work out, for example, exactly how a sovereign conference will make decisions for your party. And thirdly, we need to take an active line in terms of embracing not just electoral activity, but also political activity in the wider community, whether that's in trade unions, supporting the bin strikers, for example, and a wider movement. The acquittal of Palestine Solidarity people was vitally important. At the moment, we must recognise that remand is being used as a kind of modern H block for detention without trial. So it is embracing those kind of campaigns on the grassroots level as well as electoral activity.
Thank you. Can I then ask the next candidate to introduce themselves, and that's Myra Shoko?
Yeah, hello. I'm Myra Shoko. I'm a member of Trans Liberation Group and organiser for Your Party Tyneside and running alongside Ian Spencer as part of the grassroots left slate. The need for a socialist mass workers party is seen across the entire country. There are people suffering all over due to the effects of capitalism and the mass cuts that have taken place to social services. The NHS is falling apart, and workers are unable to live off of their wages. We need to push back against the effects of capitalism on our society, and to do that, we need to unify our forces via working alongside trade unions, left-wing organisations, and the membership directly. The membership should have a say in the direction of the party, as they are the people who are living their lives and facing the direct effects of capitalism. We cannot have the leadership, and especially not major business owners, be the people running this party. In order to ensure that your party is ran from the ground up, I believe it is vital to empower branches and recognize them on day one, as well as provide at least 50% of membership fees directly to the branches, and allow them access to all data that your party has access to, in order to aid with their campaigning and with their push for solidarity for the masses. We also need a party that will stand for both trans liberation and as well as support all of the marginalized communities, such as the Muslim community, and fight for anti-war efforts alongside comrades from Palestine, Iran, and Venezuela. The effects of war on...
Sorry, can I ask you to start reading your response then?
Yeah, sure. The effects of war on the world is tragic, and we need to put an end to it. If you want a mass workers' socialist party, vote for me and Ian Spencer. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I think I've messed up the format slightly, so because I was trying to accommodate for Hannah. Can I just suggest that we go back to doing the introductions from this point, bring Hannah back in, and then we'll start on the questions from Hannah, and then move forward from there, if everybody's in agreement. Would that be okay?
Sorry, just to clarify, what is the format then, please, Anna? Because I don't think it's...
So introductions are 90.
Is that everyone to do an introduction, and then because you went straight into the questions?
Yeah, sorry, I was thrown off a little bit because I was trying to accommodate for Hannah because of the childcare requirements. So what I'm requesting is that we go back to the format, bring Hannah in, do her presentation, her 90-second presentation, and then we'll move forward with all the presentations, and then we'll pick up on the questions.
How many questions will there be in total, just so we know? Because again, we don't know.
There are five questions, Andy. Thank you.
Thanks for that clarification.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So Hannah, would you like to start? You've got 90 seconds.
Right. Sorry about that, guys.
No, don't apologise.
So, yeah, I'm going to try and get through this as quick as humanly possible because I don't know how long I'll get. So, thank you everyone for being here. I'm Hannah Hawkins. I'm from the Northeast, Teesside bound, and I am a grassroots organiser and community activist. I've run and started my own multiple projects in the past. My goal is usually identifying a weakness in support and then finding a way to fill that gap. That's what I've done for the last decade. I did become pretty non-political for a while. Well, I suppose nothing's really not political anymore, but I left mainstream politics after Stam took the helm in the Labour Party. And when your party started again, I saw the light. We've got my hope rekindled, so I'm hoping we can all come together to make this party what it really was always meant to be. I'm passionate about a lot of things, but the top of the list for me is, because of my son, SEND is one of the big things that I'm hugely passionate about. The failings of the SEND systems on these children and the parents and the carers, who I am a full-time carer, they're unimaginable what these families are going through. I care very deeply about the LGBTQIA+ community. Most of my friends and family are, in fact, including my sister, who is married to a wonderful woman, and I've seen what they've had to go through. It means a lot to me, very deeply. I'm running low on time already. Sorry, I'm a bit flustered.
Sorry, Hannah, you've got 15 seconds.
I know, sorry, I'm really flustered this morning. This is a terrible morning for me. Honestly, sorry. Right. I think most people here know who I am. I am just a grassroots activist. I'm a single mother. I care deeply about a lot of things, and I want the chance to show you that in more detail when I am not having such a flustered, hectic morning. I'm so sorry. That was not the best introduction I've ever done. Right.
Thank you, Hannah. Right, so the next candidate we're going to have speaking is going to be Stuart Hill.
Hello, I'm co-chair of the North Tyneside Community Independence. I believe absolutely crucial for our future is the establishment of strong campaigning branches, properly resourced with full access to the membership data for their own areas, so that they can take on and defeat racist reform and Labour and the rest of them. I'm standing in Forest Hall in the May council elections, both with the intention of winning the council seat, but also, more importantly, to build our branch and our activism. The existing battle for control between Jeremy's and Zara's slates risks destroying our party before it gets properly started. Thousands of people who might have joined us have already joined the Greens. Both factions act as if they are still in the Labour Party, top-down, secretive and controlling. The toxic culture of Labour within our own ranks has to be stopped. I believe the best way to do this is to vote for independence and neither of the two factions. So I'm asking people to vote for Stuart Hill, Alex Summerson and Andy Walker. 1, 2 or 3, in any order, it doesn't matter, but it's vote independent.
Thank you very much, Stuart. Right, so can we have the next candidate, please? And the next candidate is Andy Walker.
Yes, thanks, Anna. Good morning, everybody. I'm not going to go into too much about our politics because I think they're all understood. We're all on the same side after all, and it's all on the Your Party website. I think and firmly believe that Your Party should be, as originally promised, member-led and democratic. And I have to say that up to now, many of the democratic processes could have been better, and we need to do better. And I really believe that we can. The factional battles that we're all familiar with, I'm not going to rehearse them. They need to stop, and they need to stop now. If I'm elected onto the CEC, I will avoid any tendencies whatsoever towards factionalism and sectarianism and work in the best interest of unifying this party of ours. A priority is to push to establish for branches without further delay and also give the elected officials of those branches access to branch data. And also, we had 80,000 people sign up. We need to get those back. We also need to look at things like the quorum for the branches. I will not assist those on the CEC who wish to push through decisions that should be made by all members, such as the creation of a new parliamentary spokesperson. I'll also seek consensus on the nomination of the General Secretary and push for any candidate to get 2/3 backing of the CEC before appointment. I think that position should be elected by the membership, by the way. I'll also commit to upholding conference decision on dual membership, and we have to stop the bureaucratic witch hunts and blocking of candidates. We need a transparent and accountable CEC where all votes and discussions are minuted with a clear indication of how each member spoke and how each member voted. And we also need to commit to a mechanism for branches to take part in the democratic life of the organisation. Please vote for me and the other independents on this hustings. Thank you.
Thank you. So can we have our next candidate, please, which is Alexandra Summerson.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Anna. Good morning, everybody. My name is Alexandra Summerson, but please call me Alex. I'm a trade unionist in the National Education Union. I am a local and regional organiser, Durham Assistant Branch Secretary, District Disability Officer, and regionally I am the Disabled Members Organising Forum Rep in the North East. Through the TUC, I'm currently the LGBT+ seat holder on the executive for Northern and Yorkshire Humber. I am a community activist, a proud socialist, a voluntary foster carer. I run a community interest company, a not-for-profit education company, and I just seem to keep wanting to add more things to my plate, if we're being quite honest, but all for good reason. So as many of the people both here and hopefully watching online, we joined this party because of the promise of something new, something member-led, something that puts the power back in the hands of the people and not in the pockets of the rich. And that's what I'm here to stand on, especially with an eye to our communities. We've all seen the growing rise of hatred and the division that is being pushed by the far right. It is following very similar to fascist outcomes currently, so we've got to keep an eye on that. But mainly, the antithesis of fascism is community. We need to be working in our communities, and I believe this movement to be much more than just politics. This has got to be something from the ground up, that we bring everyone with us, regardless of if we agree with them or not. We've got to educate. Education and knowledge is our most powerful tool of building solidarity and unity in our communities. My proposal is to get us all together on the ground, building that public trust, working with our local food banks, working with our local youth centres, doing local community litter picking. There's a whole bunch of ideas that I've got in terms of embedding ourselves in the community and building that trust that I would love to go into more detail about, but I believe I'll end up running out of time. So I will stop. I'll stop there, Anna. I think that'll do me.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, so that's all the introductions done. We've had Hannah's and Ian's response to the questions. Sorry. So we're going to move into back to the first question.
Is that
Sorry.
No, we need
Anna,
Kath.
Kath hasn't introduced herself yet.
Oh, sorry. Kath David. Sorry,
Yeah.
you wasn't here when we started.
No,
Sorry,
it's just I had difficulty with the link, and I've just managed to
yeah,
get it.
yeah. Don't worry. Okay, so I can see you now. So
Yeah.
if you want to start your introduction, you have 90 seconds to do.
Okay.
Your introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you everyone this morning. And just like to say, first of all, I'm really pleased to be on the ballot with so many fantastic candidates, and it just goes to prove like what a wealth of people we have going forward for your party. I basically started my activism in the union. I originally, as a young woman, fought to get asbestos taken from the building, and when I was in the CPSA, they were trying to get us to work in the building while they took the asbestos out. And that experience showed me how collectivism actually really works, and how it, and going forward, working together, how much we can achieve. I'm a member of Unison now. I'm a care worker. I work in the private sector, and I can see how broken that is. I work with low-paid women. I'm on the Unison, the national executive, as a low-paid member seat. I can see on a daily basis what's happening to workers, and the cost of living crisis. And I think that's what really we're here, or everyone here is about. It's really appealing to the masses. We need another option for people to see that they can put our trust in politicians, because at the moment the trust is so low, and people have really become disenfranchised with the whole political sphere. I've been a councillor for North Tyneside, and I know Stuart, we've been instrumental in developing the North Tyneside community independence, because we wanted to give people a choice from the ruling Labour Party, who have really, it's almost like a real gravy train. And it was because of that belief that we set up that organisation to try and get
15 seconds.
Okay, thanks. Anyway, that's me, and going forward, I just want us all to work together and to have a really good party for people to vote for. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, so can I make a suggestion now? Now that we're back in the order of things, Kath in. So Kath, can you take your first question directly now, and then we'll be in the correct order going forward. Yeah. Okay, so can I pose the first question for you, Kath? What would your immediate priorities be if elected onto the CEC?
I think we've touched on that already. It's really getting the branches established so that we can get so people can join and get rooted into the communities. It's about making sure that we've got a structure, and that people really do feel that they have the ability to make decisions politically and taking forward policy. But I think to do that, we really need the branches and the established and properly with the CEC. As well, I've only got 1 minute. Is it?
No, you've got 60 seconds.
60. Oh, 1 minute.
No, sorry. No, you've got 37. Sorry.
All right. Okay. Well, it's really like establishing that to start with, and getting the message out there, making sure that people and establishing the one member, one vote, so everyone has that sovereign for everyone in the party. So they've thank you. Sorry, I've just.
No, so that's me. Thank you. So so we're back on track now. So if we go back to Stuart, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So if we go back to you now, and that'll get us right back on track. So
sorry to interrupt, just quick. I didn't actually answer the first question. That was just my speech about myself. I don't know if I'm after Stuart or on that.
No, I think the chair's doing it now. She's getting back to the order.
I just wanted to clarify.
None of us did.
Someone answered the first question already.
Yeah.
Sorry, just 1 moment.
I just was making sure because I know.
Okay, just 1 minute, please. Can we just a minute? Let's not get into that. I'm taking full responsibility for the mix-up. I was thrown by 2 incidents that have taken place so far. Hannah is right. In the order of things, she is next one to speak, and then we will be back in sequence after Hannah speaks. So do you want to go ahead with your question? You have 60 seconds to answer the question.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump.
No, don't.
Are you okay with that?
Just a minute. Just everybody just calm down a little bit. So you're going to be answering your question. Your question is, what would your immediate priorities be if elected onto the CEC? Can I just also say before you start, can we just until we get back into sequence, can we just be have a bit of sympathy for each other? So if you want to take your question now, please, Catherine.
Yeah, so first priorities when elected to the CEC, really, I think first would be to stabilise the governance. We need very clear roles that everyone holds, clarify those, set some timelines for decision making so people have, full transparency and understanding, and ensure compliance, in line with all the correct and legal processes. We do need full transparency and trust across the board, because that is how ultimately we will be successful, if the members can in fact trust us as a collective leadership. All agendas and minutes and things like that to be published, so people don't feel like we're some shadowy cabal running things in secret. Everything must be released, and I fully support that. Regular consultations and a lot of feedback from the members.
10 seconds.
Delivery focus. I think we should prioritise 2 or 3 high impact initiatives, give them owners and good deadlines, and most importantly, team effectiveness, regardless of who ends up on here, whether it's the incredible independents we've got or either of the slates. We must be able to work together effectively, and that has to be of the utmost importance across the board for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Right, we're back on track now. So if we go to Stuart for your first question.
Yeah, like everybody, I see the branches as being absolutely crucial. However, I would also say that I see the CEC having a broader role. Quite a number of our members will be in areas where there's maybe not the possibility of branches. So the CEC's got to be able to provide the wherewithal for our membership to become active wherever they are. So the perfect example is the march on the 28th of March in London, from an anti-racist point of view. We can be encouraging our members to do work individually wherever they are in the country. And similarly, there's other areas of campaigning where your party can be encouraging levels of activity. I mean, we have an enormous number of people who are engaged with the community.
Sorry. I need to stop you there, sorry. Right, so can we have, next up, can we have Andy Walker? And it's the same question to you, Andy. What would your immediate priorities be if elected onto the CEC?
I think it's a twofold thing. I think the branches are actually crucial, and we need to make sure that we've got the tools to do the job. And that means making the data available, giving full guidance to the branches, but as a matter of urgency, getting these branches set up. I'm worried about the quorum that's been stated for setting up branches. I don't think it should be 20% of members. I think it should be 5% for setups. But as I said in my introduction, we had 800,000 people sign up. Where have those people gone? They need to be brought back, and we need to get them mobilized. I also think there's a secondary thing as well, but it's absolutely vital, particularly when we look at what's happening in politics at the moment. We need good leadership, and we need proactive leadership, and that means leading on the issues of the day. And we need to be having a say publicly on what is going on. But we have to, and I'll probably say this in other answers as well, we must stop the bickering and the factionalism. We have to work together. If we can't work together, we won't build together.
Thank you. So can we have the next candidate, which is Alexandra Summerson? And it's the same question for you. Number one, what would your immediate priorities be if elected onto the CEC?
Brilliant, thank you. So like everybody else has already said, absolutely branches and structures, so I won't waste any time on that. We need to get our branches and structures established as soon as physically possible so we can get organised and on the ground. I alluded to it a bit in my opening, but my immediate priority outside of structures is community building. So we're in a real battle for hearts and minds at the minute in this country, and especially with winning the trust back of the public, we've got to show that the people that politics is more than just policies and rich boys from private schools, essentially. So my proposal is we get involved with organisations that do good on the ground. We get involved with food banks and clothing drives and community cleaning, demonstrations and protests. Wherever there is a widely felt or deeply felt issue, we need to be there. I'm a big believer in Jane McAlevy's organising model. It's something we adapt in the NEU, and it's a principle that I've followed in my organising ever since.
Can I stop you there? Sorry. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, so the next question, and it's going to Catherine Davis. And it is from a member called Bridget. What do you see as the particular needs of the northeast of England? How do you plan for the region to get its fair share of resources, etc., both within the party and should you be elected to, if you should be elected to public office? Do you want me to repeat that, or are you okay? You're on mute.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear the question, but I've got it up now. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, basically, the northeast of England has always been left behind. We don't get the funding that other areas get. especially in like education and other facilities. We actually, I'm looking at things like, well, I'm taking on my role as a councillor. The councils don't get funded as well as they do in the rest of the country. I think really, like, as already's been said, is like getting into the communities and finding out what the real issues are, because I don't think we can dictate about ourselves where each pot of funding goes, and each region has its own distinct problems, and it's embedding in that, having the monthly meetings so that we can find out where each community actually has, what priorities they have.
Kath, I'm going to have to slow you to close
forward.
here,
Sorry. Okay.
Right. Okay. So can we have the next? Is it Hannah? Hannah, are you available? Yeah.
Hi. Should we read the question? So,
do you want me to read it, or is it better if you
no,
read
it's
it?
here up on the screen now. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. I just didn't get to the end of it. But yeah. So, as Kath said, rightly so, the North East is continually ignored by Westminster and the likes, and I absolutely despise that personally. I love my area, I love my town, and I love the region. I want to make it better. We need more high value jobs and productivity growth. We need better transport, better digital connectivity. We've got a lot of skills from previous roles of many different industries that we no longer have. Those skills need retaining. We need to reskill those people and get them into high value jobs to ensure the economy keeps growing. Support for the industrial transition, especially into green energy and manufacturing. We must have strong evidence-based cases when asking for investments. We need one regional voice across councils and businesses. We need to reach out to universities and ensure we are all aiming to create the best economy and the best region that we can possibly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have next candidate, Ian Spencer. Ian, do you want me to read it? I think it's best if you read it off the screen because it's quite a lengthy question.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's absolutely fine.
Ready when you are.
Much of my career was spent teaching nursing to nurses, and my academic specialism was the inequalities in health, and in particular in the Northeast. Teesside and County Durham, Northumbria have some of the worst kind of health statistics going. Inequalities in health are particularly bad here. What we need to contrast is the way in which, for example, some planning makes a difference. Contrast Seaham, where my mum was from, with Easington, for example. Seaham has managed to kind of reinvent itself. But what we're also up against is the growth of the far right, particularly in the Northeast. And that worries me. And from that point of view, I think we need to have a solid grounding in class politics. I think a lot of workers feel that they've been completely left behind or left out of the political discourse altogether. So it's a return to class politics, and it's above all an involvement in workers in the struggles in their own areas. And above all, we need the proper economic planning for the Northeast.
Okay, thank you very much. So can we have our next candidate, which is Myra Shocker?
Yeah, given the fact
that you want me to read it, or are you quite happy to read it?
For one, I wasn't given the chance to answer the first question, so can I answer that one quickly first, or?
Right. Oh, were you not?
No, I wasn't. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Can you do the first then? Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
As other candidates have mentioned, the top priority should be to officialize branches on day one. I'm not going to say what's already been stated on that. I also believe that allowing for educational materials to be released and set up within your party would be a great start to allowing a next generation of political advocates to be able to come forward within your party. And also ensuring that dual membership is acted upon and that all left-wing socialist parties are able to be part of your party and work alongside us. Yeah.
Okay, you're finished. Okay, can you
Yeah.
take the second question then as well, please, Myra?
Yep. Needs of the region. It's a lot of the shortcomings within the Northeast have been due to Labour's austerity and cutting of resources and funding. As I mentioned in my introduction, a lot of people struggle to live within the area due to like the housing crisis and the low-paying jobs and that sort of thing. The only way you can combat that is by combating austerity as a whole and unifying the working class to be able to push back against the misdeeds of capitalism. How your party can assist in that is by unifying the working class and also providing branches with funding to allow for them to fight alongside comrades within the local area and communities in working with already existing groups that are currently fighting on the streets against both the right wing and also against capitalism.
And finish the sorry, thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, can we have the next candidate, please, which is Stuart Hill?
Right, the infrastructure priorities would be the extension of the metro to the Washington area, the improvement of the rail between Newcastle and Carlisle and between Newcastle and Middlesbrough. And the only other one is the dualling of the A1 to Scotland. It's appalling that it's taken so long and still not been financed. If I'm elected as a councillor, I won't be able to shift that many resources as an individual councillor, but I would be making the case for consultation with the people as to how the money that exists is actually spent. And the biggest priority I would have is actually making sure that the various elements of your party come together in a regional committee.
Thank you, Stuart. Right, we're going to move on to Andy Walker. You're next, please, Andy. Are you okay reading it from the screen?
Yeah, thanks very much. I think we all would agree that the Northeast is probably one of the most important regions in the country, and we have actually been left behind over many years. I think what we need to do in terms of your party is to argue very strongly for adequate resourcing of our region. I'm someone who sat on a number of national bodies at trade union level and also in my professional life, and I've always spoken up strongly for the interests of this region. Someone once said in our region, a famous politician, but I'm sure other people said it as well, shy bairns get no sweets. And we have to speak loudly and very strongly on behalf of our members for proper resources for the branches. I would like to start a conversation about 50% of the membership fees coming into our branches. And we listen to the members, both in terms of internally, but also on a devolutionary basis at the end of the day. So all power to the Northeast, all power to the region.
Thank you, Andy. Next up, we've got Alexander Summerson.
Thanks,
Alex,
Anna.
are you ready?
I'm ready. So, as everybody in the Northeast knows, Thatcher destroyed our region. She fully just destroyed it. Because as previously Labour safe seats in the Northeast, we have been actively targeted and punished by successive governments. In terms of the party, I do agree with a minimum of 50% of resources should go, of funding should go to branches, but I think it needs to be looked at across the scale, because we'll have areas with less members, but with more need. So I think it's got to be nuanced as to how we figure it out and share out the resource, the money between the branches across the country. In the Northeast, a big priority for me is we have 170,000 children in poverty. So absolutely universal free school meals, breakfast and dinner and lunch to ensure that our children are eating well at least twice a day. Outside of that, there's industry and public transport.
Thank you, Alex. Sorry. Yeah, Alex. Right. Okay. So we're going to move on. Now we are really back in order now. So we're going to move on again. So now we're going to Catherine Davis. And question number 3, Catherine, how will you remain accountable to members in your region if elected?
Sorry, I've muted myself again. I think you're accountable, that everything is transparent, decision making is transparent, that that's shared with the members, that the members are sovereign, and I just think what they have decided that we take forward, that's what we should be doing, and obviously you're accountable as well, because if you you can be recalled, and I mean that's something that we voted on conference. So we have to be we have to take that forward. We have to be really making sure that those voices are heard from our members. Yeah.
You can finish, Kath.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said. No, it's just I really we have to be accountable because of the democratic structures that we voted in, and that we will be recalled if we're not, and it has to be transparent.
Okay, you are on time now. You are finished. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So next, can we have Hannah Hawkins? And the question is, how will you remain accountable to members in your region if elected?
Hi, sorry. Okay, so sorry, I've had to just jump back in. I would aim to be visible, transparent and responsive at all times, given regionally everyone would have direct access to me. In my ideal world, I would take all of that and feedback in CEC meetings, because I think it's important that people's voices feel heard and they feel represented. Crucially, also, I would be very honest about any sort of deals that were made, any sort of contracts, and the outcomes of things. So members will be able to judge performance on the actual delivery, not simply just the initial promise that we've made. So it's
15 seconds left.
Very easy to say things and then not actually back them up. And also I would clearly report on what I've advocated for and achieved across my time there, and to date. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. And next up, we've got Ian Spencer. Same to you, Ian. How will you remain accountable to members in your region if elected?
Most important thing is to be available, to get out to all branches, to be physically present where possible, or via Zoom. It's a question of making myself available. Regular reports to all members. There shouldn't be any kind of secrecy. The idea of decisions being made behind closed doors. So I would provide regular reports to all members and attend all branches where possible, and get out on the ground floor as well, out on the shop floor as well, in terms of attending actions by trade unions and Palestine Solidarity and so on. So out on the streets in the demonstrations. So to be physically visible, to provide a physical leadership and response and accountability.
Thank you. Thank you, Ian. Right, we're now moving on to Myra Shucker, and same question to you, Myra. How will you remain accountable to members in the region if elected? Thank you.
Yeah. First off, I intend to have myself be accessible at all times, like 24/7 accessibility, no matter what, to all the membership. My contact details are public, and reachable for everyone to utilize should they be concerned. I intend to go to any and all meetings that are within the region, as well as working with local groups. I've already started attending local group meetings to ensure that I am present and able to hear everyone's what everyone is advocating for, and to ensure that membership is listened to. I also believe that I should be my actions within the CEC should be completely transparent, whether that's voting or voting records or meeting minutes.
Thank you, Myra. So next we have Andy Walker. Same question to you, Andy. How will you remain accountable to members in your region if elected?
Right, specifically and simply, I'll communicate. As others have said, I'll be available, but specifically as well, I'll actually launch an email newsletter, both in the run-up to and after CEC meetings, and where we can you hear me? Someone keeps saying I'm muted.
No, I can hear you.
I'm going to have to do that again because I just heard Ian say I'm muted. Sorry about that. Right, okay, just very quickly again. As I say, specifically, I will communicate throughout the membership. I'll set up email newsletters both before and after the CEC. So I involve our members in the discussions that are going to be taking place, where possible. I'll issue regular reports to our members, and I will look to visit every single branch in the region, either online or in person, to find out what members want, because I think it's really important that we remain accountable.
Thank you, Andy. Can I just say to everybody, can you please go on silent if you're not speaking? Can you go on mute? And please don't interrupt people when they're speaking. Thank you. So finally, we've got on question 3, Alexandra Summerson. And the same question to you, Alex. It is, how will you remain accountable to members in your region if elected? Thank you. You've got 60 seconds.
Thanks very much. So I'm going to be repeating things that other people have said, but what I would do to remain accountable is I would hold regular assemblies or regional council sort of meetings so that we have opportunity for members from every branch to come together, feedback, and work on regional stuff together. Also, I would want to attend every branch's meeting at least once every quarter. Keep open lines of communication, email or contact number. I would always consult with members on any relevant decision as well. I would never try and take a decision off my own back, and issue reports on activities. And that's me. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you, Alex. Oh, sorry, just one moment.
You still need to take me.
Yeah, I am. I've just got a little bit of a tech issue going on at the moment. Sorry. Just bear with me 1 second. Right. So, sorry, what? Ian, did we not? Sorry. So, Ian, question number 3, please, is how will you remain accountable to members in your region if elected?
Ian's already spoken, but I haven't.
So who's this who's saying they haven't? What?
Stuart Hill.
Stuart. Okay, Stuart, can you take question 3? How will you remain accountable to members in your region if elected? Thank you.
In my statement, I put on my email address and my mobile number so people could contact me anytime. And in any elected position, I've always been fully accessible to people, attending meetings. I mean, the key thing is not attending the meetings, it's listening to what people say, wherever they are, whether it's WhatsApp, phone call, or in person. So I think it is extremely important. It's also important to set an example in your own activity that you actually carry out what the National Party is asking of people, that you're engaged in the community, you're engaged in your trade union, you're engaged in all aspects, cultural aspects and everything. So I think it's setting examples as well as direct accountability.
Thank you very much. Right, sorry, just bear with me 1 second.
You're doing a brilliant job, Anna. Thank you.
I've got a lot of tech issues going on. I can't apologise enough. Right, so we're on to question 4, and we're back with Catherine. So, Catherine, question 4 for you is, how will you build membership of local branches?
Thanks. that question. Again, I think it's rooted in the communities. It's having the meetings, looking at the issues that are affecting the communities that you're working with, getting the word out. I think we've got a huge hill to climb now, because there is a lot of people have become distrustful of your party, and I think we need to build that back again by getting people on the ground and talking about your party and how what they can do, to bringing a socialist alternative to what's happening at the moment with the Labour Party and all the main parties.
15 seconds.
And I just think that we've got to roll our sleeves up basically and get into these communities. And I think it is, like it's been mentioned before, getting round all those branches and making sure that they're getting people involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. So, Hannah Hawkins, are you with us, Hannah? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4. How will you build membership of local branches?
Thank you. And I just want to say again, Anna, you're doing a brilliant job, so I really appreciate this. Thank you. As far as the members go, we need to ensure that they feel relevant and valuable at all times, and keep them active in things that are currently going on, so there aren't people who just feel like they turn up and never get heard, never get listened to. As Stuart said, really listening is vitally important as well. We want to support the branches on local issues that matter most to them. I think the branches need a lot of control in this, because nobody knows the community better than the people within those communities, and we must absolutely ensure that they are listened to and never spoken over, because we don't know their communities like they do. We must be using digital tools to stay connected always, to ensure maximum participation for disabled, single parents, carers and such, and ensuring that we mentor the new members, because it can feel overwhelming when you first join a party and you're new to it. We must mentor them and welcome them and make sure they don't feel like a less valuable member simply for a lack of information or knowledge or experience. Everyone has a part to play.
Thank you very much. Right, and the next candidate is Ian Spencer, and your question's the same. How will you build membership of local branches?
We need regular meetings in the communities themselves. My constituency is Newton Aycliffe and Spennymoor, where there have been, for example, an awful lot of flags put up, which suggests to me that there's a significant right-wing presence. We need to win those workers back. It's ridiculous calling them fascists or Nazis or racists or whatever. That isn't going to do it. What we need to do is put across a convincing case for socialism. So we need regular meetings. We also need to be able to go door to door for canvassing, particularly at election time. But before that, whether it's leafleting or whether it's canvassing in advance of elections, and it's exactly as I did when I was a membership secretary in the Labour Party.
Thank you, Ian. So next we have Myra Shoku, and same question for you, Myra. How will you build membership of local branches? And you've got 60 seconds starting now.
Easiest and quickest way would be to simply work with the community. There is already a multitude of factions within our local area that are doing great work within the community. If we were to reach out to them and listen to their demands and their work and assist in their work in every way that we can via funding and providing manpower from our own branches, it would allow for people to be able to be more trusting of your party as a whole. Currently, your party has very little policies, very little politics, very little activism on the streets. In order for us to gain membership, we need to be able to show that we are doing the work, that we're putting in effort into our communities and into everything, and that we're not just doing this for a farce. So to ensure that, reaching out to people, listening to people, working within the community, and also providing political education to those who are less in the know within political spheres, to branch out to outside of political spheres.
Thank you, Myra. Thank you. Right, so now we're on to Stuart. Stuart, you have 60 seconds to answer the question. How will you build membership of local branches?
My first priority is to build my election campaign between now and election day. That will mean involving an awful lot of people. It needs at least 30 people just to put out our leaflets. and so we're going to have a lot more members and activists in order to even fight an election campaign. That's focused particularly on Forest Hall, although people from surrounding areas obviously we pull them in as well. On the wider basis of North Tyneside, we do collectively work in terms of leafleting, metro stations and other places so that people are conscious of our existence. That's at the moment North Tyneside Community Independence. But the other thing is we also need to be having a broad-based campaign at places like the Miners' Gala. We need a physical presence. We need to show people we exist.
Thank you, Stuart. Right, we now have Andy Walker, and you've got 60 seconds. Same question. How will you build the membership of local branches?
Well, I think first of all, we've got to establish them. So we need to push to establish those branches without any delay. It's an immediate priority for the CEC. Give the elected officials in those branches access to the branch data, and that includes all of the sign-ups that we've actually had. We should change the quorum to set up a branch from 5% of the membership because 20% is too high, and we need to fund those branches with 50% of the membership subscriptions. We also need proper, decent membership engagement. I pay tribute to the 62 people who are logged onto this call, but out of the overall membership in our region, that's quite a small number, not helped by the fact that people only receive notice in a haphazard way. That has to improve. We can't keep apologising and giving reasons why we didn't do it. Proper membership engagement, encourage our members to get involved in the organisation.
Thank you very much, Andy. You're right. Okay, so the final question goes to Alexander Sumson. And so, Alex, are you okay? You online? How will you build membership of local branches? Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Anna. Again, we're all very like-minded people, which is a really good thing, knowing that we're all going into this election together with the same sorts of priorities. Community, getting in the community, building up public trust. It's about winning over hearts and minds. It's about showing people that actually we've got more in common with each other than they'll ever have with these rich boys, essentially. And also working with our proto branches. We've got proto branches up and down the country, and especially in this region, that have been doing some phenomenal work. And there is no reason why we should not be working with these activists in order to make sure that our branch system gets rolled out across the region. I think it's going to be, some difficult work figuring out which branches are going to be where, if it's constituency, parliamentary, or if it's ward. We'll make all of that work in the end. But for now, we've just got to get people together in their communities and start working on these issues that we're facing, like the far right. And I just want to come back on something Ian said very quickly. He's completely right. Thanks, Anna. We can't just go into people and say, you vote Reform, you're a racist. That's not how we're going to win people over. We need to say, look, what are the issues you're facing? This is how we're going to combat those issues.
Thank you. Right, so we're on to the final question, question 5, and we're back with Catherine Davis. And the question is, your party says it's indivisible from the workers' movement. How concretely would you put this into practice? Catherine?
Oh. Sorry, I'm on mute again. Yes, so I'm just reading the question there. I think, well, I'm a trade unionist, and obviously we represent workers, and I think it's a collectivism and showing people how we can help, and as working as a collective. The Labour Party was started with the trade union movement, and I think really getting to grips with people and saying that, showing them that working together, we can move forward with your party, and I think we need to have those union connections with workers, and we need to make sure that that we take that forward, their rights, and and work towards a more equal society for workers. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Catherine. Next, we've got Hannah. So, question 5. Your party says it's indivisible from the workers' movement. How confidently would you put this into practice?
Well, we need to ground the party's work in real workplace and real struggles, not just the kind of rhetoric that sounds really good on paper. Concretely, that would mean building formal links with trade unions and workplace reps. We need to support their ability to organise and manage disputes, ensure that policy is shaped by workers' lived experience. It also means training and backing members to be workplace organisers, who are vitally important, and to make sure that the elected representatives are accountable to the movement that actually put them there, ensuring that people do not just get a position of power and hold on to it eternally. We must have accountability and the ability to,
15 seconds left.
recall when they aren't doing the jobs effectively, and accountability and transparency above all. But the workers have to be at the heart of that always, the real lived experiences of them.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
And the next question goes to Ian Spencer. And the question is number 5. Your party says it's indivisible from workers' movement. How concretely would you put this into practice?
As always, as I've been a part of that workers' movement, I've always been in a trade union, and I've always been taking part in political activity wherever. Tomorrow there is a Palestine Solidarity demonstration in Newcastle at 12 o'clock. I'll be there to talk to people, but also to recruit people into your party. We need to kind of actively outreach into areas which are not unionised. There are well over 100,000 people work in care homes, and the overwhelming majority of the workers there are female and among the worst paid in the country. And yet we have supposedly a care crisis. We need to be actually out there encouraging union membership, because union membership has been falling for years, and yet it's ironically lowest among some of the poorest paid, and perhaps unsurprisingly. So it's spreading union membership. It's spreading union membership. It's being physically present out on the streets wherever and whenever there's a demonstration, whenever workers are in struggle.
Thank you, Ian. So next we've got Myra Chaku. And you've got 60 seconds, and it's your party says it's indivisible from the workers' movement. How concretely would you put this into practice? Thank you.
Yeah, as many have already stated, I think working alongside trade unions is key. Social society cannot be formed without the working class at its heart, and trade unions are a great way to be able to reach out to the working class. We need your party to be a mass workers' party, and that will innately make it indivisible from the workers' movement if workers are the ones to lead the party as a whole. I also believe that students should be allowed entry into unions a lot easier, as from what I've spoken to, students are struggling to either find trade unions that will accept them, or just aren't aware that trade unions exist. So having them be more widely advertised, as well as having all affiliated trade unions have a mandatory policy to allow for students to take part within it, would be a great way to push the movement forward.
Thank you very much. Right, next we have Stuart Hill. And
right, first of all, the community section of the Unite Union takes in student membership, so there's already an opening there. More importantly, I think we've got a historic opportunity with your party to actually galvanise the trade union movement, because it has been really, mostly a sleeping giant. Unions like Unison haven't done that much over the years in the areas where they organise. But if you look back on experience, the minority movement before the war, we need to be organised as your party within the trade unions, because one of the things which is a challenge for us, we've got to see about getting funding from the trade unions and challenging the question of the monopoly that the Labour Party has.
Thank you, Stuart. Right, we're on to Andy Walker. And Andy, yours is question 5 again. Your party says it's indivisible. I can't pronounce this word. From the workers'
Indivisible.
movement. Thank you.
Indivisible.
Indivisible from the workers' movement. How concretely would you put this into practice? Thank you very much.
I think by following the trade union maxim, united we stand, divided we fall. And I think part of that is making your party accessible, but we've also got to present a united front to those that we seek to represent. And that really does mean coming together as an organisation. And I've said it before, and I will say it again, make no apologies for it. We have to stop the infighting. If we don't stop the infighting, then the party will fail. Allied to that, we need strong leadership. And I want to see our national representatives, and that includes the CEC, speaking out on the key issues of the day, including the absolute mess that we currently see Keir Starmer and the so-called Labour government in. We need to be out there talking about the issues and providing a vibrant, socialist, accessible alternative.
Sorry. Oh, thank you. Are you finished? Thank you very much, Stuart. Sorry, Andy. So now we've got Alexander Summerson, and it's the same question for you, Alex. It's number 5. Can you read it from the screen, or do you want my really bad vocabulary to take in?
I can read it from the screen, Anna. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant. Again, I feel like a broken record because we all have such very similar ideas. But again, it's about building trust, collaborating with the Trade Union Congress and the General Federation of Trade Unions. It's about developing workplace toolkits and resources so that we can get into workplaces and help to organise in that way. It's about making working committees to coordinate with workers on issues and develop policy, things like a better employment rights bill. Then we've got things like tackling the trade union filibuster that is on being able to vote online and being able to take strike action.
15 seconds left.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, it's about building that trust, getting in with the people and showing them that Labour is not going to be their saviour anymore, that they need, that we all need to work together to make something better.
Thank you very much, Alexander. So now that's the question element answered. So we're now going to be moving on to your closing statements, and you've got 90 seconds to do the closing statement.
You did tell us originally that it was only 60 seconds. Do you want to change it?
No, sorry, it's 60 seconds. As much as I love to listen to people talk, it's 60 seconds. So we're going to go in the same order. So we're going to start with Catherine Davis. Catherine, when you're ready, can you start?
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I think what we've got to do. We need to get the party back on track, and that means that we need to stop the fractionalisation, stop talking to ourselves. It means start talking to people about a socialist alternative, being a democratic party. We need to look at the policies that really matter to people: public ownership, wealth taxes, a new system. We need to start campaigning and mobilising a mass movement. And it means a return to the mass politics, and that's really first attracted people to your party, and it's about building that trust. And you know, I think we're moving forward. That's the main thing, is regaining that trust, working with communities, and ensuring that we make people's voices heard. And
thank you, Catherine. That's your
time. Thank you.
So can we have Hannah Hawkins next, please? You've got 60 seconds.
Right, I'll try and be quick. First of all, thank you all the brilliant candidates here today. You are all incredible, amazing people with a wealth of experience and knowledge that the CEC would be lucky to have. I'm going to try and make up for my terrible opening statement. We do, as Kath said, need to get this party back on track. And as Jeremy Corbyn once said, at the end of the day, socialism is the answer. And I truly, truly believe that. We have to meet people in these communities where they are, not where we want them to be. We cannot just shout very loudly and expect things to change. We have to show them why socialism is the answer. I'm standing because I want a party that is rooted in these communities that we know and love so well, but we need one that is run effectively and will deliver for working people in regions like the North East and up and down the country. I promise I will be a disciplined voice on the CEC, focused on transparency, unity and delivery, and accountable to the members solely and exclusively. I will work collaboratively, I promise. I hope you give me that chance. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next person to speak is Ian Spencer. Ian, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, you have 60 seconds to do your closing statement.
Reform have become powerful because historically the Labour Party has abandoned class politics. We need to argue for socialism. We need to argue for a different society, not just in Britain, but around the world. The idea that you could have some sort of national road to socialism is fanciful. We've seen the way in which the United States is prepared to intervene wherever and whenever it feels its interests are threatened. The Greens are not our friends. We can't build a movement tail-ending the Greens or tail-ending the Labour Party. We need an alternative which is firmly rooted in the working class. As Mark said, the liberation of the working class is the act of the workers themselves. We need an end to all anti-union laws, and we need to form the basis for a campaign focused on that and much more besides, because trade union membership is now relatively low. We need to campaign in the communities, in the tenants associations and all the rest of any other kind of community activities to argue the case for socialism.
Thank you. Thank you, Ian. So we're moving on next now to Myra. Myra, are you ready? Okay, you have 60 seconds also.
Should I and the rest of Grassroots Legislature be elected, you will get your mass worker socialist party that works globally alongside the working class of all countries. You will get your membership. You will get branches be officialized within. You will get your branches officialized day one. You will get given at least 50% membership fees. You will receive all of your data that you have been asking for since day one. We will be out fighting on the streets against fascists and against reform alongside you, and we will we will fight for dual membership to be empowered, and we will allow all left-wing socialist parties to come together under one front to be able to fight back against the oppressions of capitalism. And also you will be provided with an education network that is easily accessible to all. And
Myra, you've come to the end of your time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have Stuart Hill, and you have 60 seconds also, Stuart, for your closing remarks.
Right. Well, I hope that people will vote 1, 2, and 3 for the 3 independents. Whoever gets elected, a key thing is to sort out within our own region what are the appropriate boundaries for the different branches, whether it's constituencies or local government. We need to get agreement amongst ourselves what's best for the very different areas that make us up. And once we've agreed a package, then we need to present that to whichever 2 people are elected to fight for that at the first meeting of the CEC.
Thank you, Stuart. So next up we have Andy Walker.
Yes, thank you. I think we really need to grasp. We need to grasp the seriousness of the position that we're actually facing here. The clock is ticking, and the decisions that we take in this election will shape the future of your party, of our party, for the foreseeable future. I really believe that we're actually at 5 minutes to midnight, frankly, at the 11th hour. And to misquote Joy Division, factionalism is tearing us apart, and it needs to stop. Some things are much bigger than purity politics, and who can be the most left-wing or the most sensible. And I say that as a lifelong socialist who's made a principled opposition to capitalism a key tenet of my politics for as long as I can remember. I'm not standing as part of any slate, as part of any faction. And together with the other independents on this hustings, I hope that you'll support us, that you'll support me first and foremost, and the other independents. We have to come together as an organisation. I think that's self-evident. And if we don't, then frankly, we won't succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, finally, we've got Alexander Simpson, and you also have 60 seconds for your closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Anna, and thank you to all of my fellow candidates and to everybody that's been watching online. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all. I'm really grateful for today's opportunity to give you my opinions and my answers on these questions, but I do want to finish by saying I haven't stood on for the CEC to give my opinions and to give my answers. I've stood to give you a voice. I want to make sure that it's our members, that everything is coming from our members. It should never, ever be about one individual executive member. It should be about the people that they represent. I'm really excited for your party to get moving. And regardless of whether or not I make it onto the CEC, I'm really looking forward to building in my county and in the region. Please do consider voting 1, 2 and 3 for your independent candidates, and best of luck to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. Right, so that's everything done for us now, all the questions, all the closing statements. I do want to make a huge apology for my tech problems at the beginning of the programme. But I really want to say it's not easy. It's very difficult to be in a scenario like this. I think everybody's done incredibly well. And I'd like to thank you for participating, and good luck to everybody. Thank you.
You did great as well, Anna. Thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you so much.